Good afternoon and welcome to the 12th Regulators and Policymakers Retreat being hosted by the Independent Power Producers Association here at Goa, India. And with me is the British Member of Parliament from Orpington, Mr. Joe Johnson. Mr. Johnson, welcome to the retreat, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, we'd like to know what has been the experience of the United Kingdom in regulating the media without at the same time curtailing the freedom of speech.
Okay. In the UK, we have a system of self-regulation of the press. So the print media self-regulates. There's an independent press complaints commission to which people who feel aggrieved by the press can make representations. The IPCC will investigate and make recommendations to the newspaper to take corrective action if appropriate. With respect to broadcasting, broadcasting is much more tightly regulated by Ofcom, the Office of Communications, and that is a statutory body which is independent of government.
So, there are a number of iconic brands in the United Kingdom that are well known throughout the world when it comes to media. The British Broadcasting Corporation or the BBC, The Economist, and other magazines like the Financial Times. Do you think that the media is able to do a good job of being an effective check on governance, on shortfalls in governance, and is able to complement and be a friend, philosopher, guide to parliamentarians?
Well, on the first part, we have an extremely competitive and effective media sector in the UK. Highly competitive print sector, highly competitive broadcasting sector, albeit one that's dominated at the two ends by B-Sky B in the commercial sector and by the BBC in the private, publicly funded sector. In between, in the broadcasting sector, we have some smaller players who are private sector and commercial, but who are squeezed by the very dominant two players at either end. In respect as to whether they're friends and mentors of the media, I don't think that's really the way people want to look at the media. Media should be an independent arm of the state, as you say, the fourth estate, and they're there to hold people to account, people in responsible positions, and I don't think people want them to be friends. I think that's part of the problem, is that there's been a certain element in which politicians and the media have become too close, and people want a bit more objectivity in the relationship.
So finally, coming to what you spoke about regulation at the retreat conference, you're looking at the personality of the regulator as someone who can be independent. If there's someone strong-willed, he can take better decisions, as opposed to someone who kowtows to the powers that be, right? What has been the experience of the United Kingdom in fact reining in the coal unions during the Thatcher years, of bringing in more free market economics?
Well, regulation in the UK is also relatively recent. We started to regulate industries that had been privatized in the 1980s, starting with the train system, the electricity, the energy market, and the sectors are regulated to a greater or lesser extent, depending on the number of providers, the extent of competition within them, the sensitivity of consumers to monopolies, the intrinsic monopoly of nature of the industry or not. And Britain is some way down the learning curve of how to achieve effective regulation. I don't think anyone would claim that Britain has the answer yet, but certainly we've had getting on for 3 decades of experience of trying to do it in the interests of consumers and in the interests of economic efficiency as a whole.